Good morning, everyone. All right. So we're going to talk today about effective demo presentations. So a little bit of my background. I've been in product management for over 20 years. Moved to product marketing when I moved to RingCentral. Don't regret it one bit, actually trying to figure out why I didn't do this earlier. I actually love product marketing, like the rest of you. But like a lot of you, have come from another discipline, which was product management. So when I first joined RingCentral, the number one task I had was, hey, can you make these demos better, manage them? So what do you mean by manage them? Well, figure it out. That's what you have to do. So this is kind of my experience and what I've learned. I'm by no means an expert. I'm still learning, but we did learn a lot in 10 months. And we did make a lot of changes in 10 months. And so what I'm going to share with you is our experience and what has happened over those 10 months and the lessons we've learned, and hopefully lessons that you don't have to repeat or mistakes that you don't have to repeat when you're trying to do this. So my professional background is kind of boring. You can look at that on LinkedIn at any time. Stuff that's more important to me here, my family. This is my wife, Andrea, 27 years. My little girl, who's not so little anymore, she's 12, she'll be 13 in a couple of weeks. And my son, Vince, who's 18, he'll be turning 19 this weekend, actually. We are a hockey family, which means that I work really, really hard and have to spend a lot of money. My daughter plays, well, both of them play roller and ice. She plays ice for a competitive team, the Santa Clara Blackhawks. She's a Bantam this year, 14U. And my son played junior varsity and varsity ice and roller hockey for Pioneer High School. And now he's graduated and he plays in the beer league, or as he likes to call it, the root beer league, because he's not 21 yet. I also play in a beer league, but we are a lot more serious about the beer part. Started with one pitcher. All right. Oh, we have a cat. All right. He's a little chubby. We've been trying to get him to lose weight. It's not working. All right. How many people know about RingCentral? Can you raise your hand? Oh, okay, a fair bit. How many of you think we're the doorbell company? Raise your hand. I won't be offended or anything. I saw a couple of hands. Okay. Branding, it's a thing, isn't it? Okay. This is actually an exercise. I take it back to my branding folks and say, here's how many people know about us, and here's how many people think we're the doorbell company. We're a collaborative communications company. We allow employees internally to collaborate with each other, whether it's messaging, whether it's video meetings, whiteboard collaboration, sharing documents, sharing videos, and also calling, just the standard calling. But we also allow employees within a company to collaborate with their customers through our contact center solutions. And this is the part right here on the contact center side that I'm focused on. Now, to give you a sense of the challenges we faced when we were looking at demos, specifically, but overall, just in product marketing and marketing of contact center. Contact center is a very mature market. There isn't a whole lot of innovation going on in terms of features. Pretty much everyone who's out there today has this widget and that widget in some form or another. So differentiation is extremely difficult in the contact center world. The biggest innovations in the last 5 years, and you're all going to be surprised when I say this, is the move from premise to cloud. Yeah, we joined everybody else. And the move from calling to digital communications as the primary source or primary method of communication. And the reason that is if you look at the sort of standard product adoption curve, end of life is somewhere around there, and that's when contact center adopts technology. So very risk averse. If it works, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And so selling into this space is very hard, right? And like I said, the two big things, movement to cloud and digital, are the ones that are driving a lot of the new sales, and that's why we are successful, because that's what we sell. So positioning products and demoing products in that space, very difficult. So you have to be very clear and concise, and you have to show the value of your solution, right? Because I have widget A and B, well, your competitor has widget A and B. Why is your solution better? Why do we want to use your solution versus your competitor's solution? It's extremely important when it comes to in this realm. Now, I'm not saying it's a unique challenge to us. A lot of you have the same challenges. But in a mature market like this, it becomes specifically challenging. So who cares, right? Why are demos important? right? We can do demos all day long. We can show how wonderful our product is. We can demonstrate it to higher level, C-level folks. We can demonstrate it to IT. We can demonstrate it, right? We just show our product, and just by showing our product, that should be all we need to show because it's perfect, it's beautiful, it works. Turns out that's not the case. So when I took on this responsibility, I immediately saw the opportunity to start bringing in the demos that were technical demos given by our sales engineers and turning them into marketing scripted demos, part of marketing campaigns that could be measured, that could be used to tell a story, and specifically to solve a business problem. And that's really what we've done over the past 8 to 9 months, is really raised the level of the conversation, elevated the conversation. We're no longer having a technical discussion. We're having a business solution discussion. How are we going to help you solve your problem? The technical discussion comes later, as you'll see. And here's why. So this is a study from Forbes, I think it was 2017 or 2018, not too long ago. And basically they polled a lot of companies and said, how long do you think it takes you to get a first good impression of a company? So a vendor comes in, barely the time it takes to shake hands. That's how quickly you can lose their attention, right? A lot of you are here today, you're listening, but you're also doing work. You're on your phones, you're on your computers. You being rude? No. That's just the reality of our lives, right? We're busy. Even though we're here at a conference, we're getting buzzed. Hey, I know you're there, but I need your help, right? So on and so forth. So yet another vendor is showing up to sell their technology. They think their technology is better than everyone else's. Why would I want to listen to you? And so making that first impression. Now, it takes a lot longer than 7 seconds to do a demo. But you're talking about maybe a 45-minute to an hour meeting. And you want to keep them, after those 7 seconds, you want to keep people engaged. And that's key here. So here are the 5 common mistakes we learned and how to fix them. That's the one I brought up earlier. It's all about the technology. So when I joined managing demos, the sales engineers were super excited. Oh, this is great. Hey, can you write me a script that does this? Hey, can you fix this for me? No, I won't fix your computer. Yeah. But what I will do is help you prepare and deliver better demos. Okay. So, and the first thing is not to focus on the technology. Take a look at this. How many people would buy this today? If just looking at it. Oh, one guy, okay. The world needs people like you, sir. That's great. The reality is this actually works really well. It's one of the things that differentiates us as a vendor. It's a very powerful solution. But you wouldn't tell them looking at it, right? But this is what we were leading with. We were saying, look at this beautiful tool. It's got arrows, little graphics, this cryptic screen over here. Don't know what that does. Look at all the icons you have. 1 million capabilities, right? Not impressive, right? So if it's not to say that this isn't important, but this is not the stage at which you present this. Okay, this is a later discussion. What you're doing with your first demos or first set of demos is to try and get to another discussion. As you're drilling down, you start at the C level, you start at the decision-making level. Once they've been committed or they committed to, yeah, I like your solution, I think it's great, I think it'll solve our problem, let me put you in touch with our IT folks or our technical team who will have to implement this. That's when you have this discussion, right? But we were leading with this, and it's a big mistake. So Robert Falcone wrote a really interesting book called Just Effing Demo. Good book. He has a lot of experience doing this kind of stuff, so I read his book and I followed his literature. So I learned a lot from him and from others who have done this and who have been through this process. But he basically summarized it here. Your product demos suck because they are focused on your product, right? And I'm not the first one saying this. I've been hearing this for the last yesterday, and I'm sure I'm going to hear it again today. So everyone here knows that. So by doing that, you're diluting the business value immediately. You're not showing me anything. By showing you that screen before, you're not showing me how I'm solving my problem. So it completely dilutes the business value. It exposes feature gaps. Remember what I said earlier about how our industry is very sensitive to that because features, not really a thing because, yeah, they got it too. So why is yours different? When you start drawing attention to feature gaps at the first couple of meetings, you've lost them, right? You've lost them. And then technical issues become the focus. Big demos always go wrong. You guys know, how many people here do demos? Yeah. How many times have they gone smooth, like 100% smoothly? Never, right? Okay. So that's going to happen, right? And when you get further down in the process and you're showing the IT folks stuff and you're showing and some things go wrong, at that point they kind of understand that, yeah, there's going to be issues. We know about that. We deal with issues all the time. But never at the first couple of meetings. You want to make sure that that's not a distraction, right? So from a business value perspective, really your product, even the products we sell, are completely worthless unless it solves a specific set of business problems. So the kind of questions that companies are looking for when you actually show them or demonstrate the product. How does this make our job easier? How does this allow us to better serve our customers? We're B2B, right? But you can also be looking at it from a B2C perspective. How does it cut my costs? Because I'm always looking to drive cost out of the solution. How does it allow us to meet or exceed our KPIs and SLAs? We, as an organization, are accountable to the board. We're accountable to other organizations. We're measured based on that. Sometimes we're even paid based on that. And allow us to scale and grow our business, right? We're growing fast. We need a technology that helps us keep pace with our growth or help us grow. How does your solution do that? So the key is understanding the problems first. And I heard this in one of the presentations yesterday, and it's absolutely brilliant. Hi, so-and-so, I hear you have a product demo. Yeah, I do. Tell me a little more about your company first. What do you do? What issues are you experiencing? Okay, now let me show you what my solution does to help solve that problem. That's really key. Regarding technical problems and demos going wrong. So a lot of you may have seen this video. This was a huge demo fail, probably one of the biggest demo fails in history. Microsoft was 1 month away from launching Windows 98, back when operating systems were a thing. And Bill Gates was up on stage, and I actually forgot who that is, but he was in marketing. And they were getting ready to show, and this was a big thing back then, plug and play. Ooh, plug and play today is like, who cares? But back then it was a big thing because the operating system couldn't do it. So that was one of the big advantages of Windows 95/98. And they were going to show, actually demo, just adding a scanner and showing how the system detected the scanner. And remember, this is April, and they were supposed to ship Windows 98 in May. So can you run the video? It's kind of grainy, but.
Just plug it in. It's going to say, hey, I see you plugged in a new device. And it's going to load in the appropriate drivers. You'll notice that this scanner build, whoa. Moving right along.
That must be why we're not shipping Windows 98 yet.
Absolutely.
So great recovery from Bill Gates, obviously, but Microsoft learned a lot from this and what happened. So their demos adjusted and changed as a result of this, right? Because this was on CNN, right, back in '98. So it was broadcast everywhere. Somebody captured it on videotape, because that's what you did back then, and now it's posted on YouTube, so everyone can see it. They can laugh at it now, but back then there was no laughing matter, right? So drawing attention to this kind of stuff, if that's what people are going to focus on, and that's a problem, because you really can't get to the next level when they can't even see beyond the, wow, your demo is completely crapped out, and why would I use it? Two, generic demos. One size does not fit all. Another thing we learned. So when I joined RingCentral, we were doing one kind of demo. It was, forgot what it was, Technology Hub or something. And we were showing this demo to every customer, whether they were in healthcare or finance. And it was quickly apparent that although they found the demo interesting, it wasn't really resonating with them because, well, I'm not a Wi-Fi provider. right? I'm a bank. I'm a healthcare provider. I'm a healthcare payer, or I'm an insurance company. And so, again, another great point from Robert Falcone, so I thought I'd use it here. Good demos don't have to be perfect for the product. They have to be perfect for the audience. And so that's one of the changes we made, was we looked at what verticals do we want to go after? What verticals do we want to focus on? And what are their problems? And they're different, right? If you're in the healthcare industry, you're very worried about things like medical records, how do I do scheduling, post-op procedures, consultations, surgery, and follow-up. And of course, you want to make sure that you're compliant, following HIPAA compliance. So they're under very strict regulatory guidelines around what they can and cannot do and what information they can provide. And so having a secure solution to be able to support that. Finance, completely different. If you're a bank, you're worried about online banking, you're worried about ATM services, you're worried about branch locations and services. This is just a few of the things. Financial products. And asset management. Completely different, right? One set of problems here, another set of problems there. Finance industry is also bogged down with compliance and being sure to comply, but the regulations around it are different. It's PCI in the case of the finance industry, in the case of banking, right? How do I keep social security and credit card information secure, right? So you're not storing it on your system. Retail, how do I get people into my stores? How do I promote sales to get more people to come? How many people in my brick and mortar store versus my online store? How do I manage inventory? How do I do things like geofencing, if you're familiar with that concept, where a customer's in the store and based on where they are, we can say, hey, there's this promotion on aisle 4. So very different problems for very different industries. And you have to cater and tailor to those industries when you are showing a demo. So when you show a demo, you're not showing we're the Wi-Fi vendor. You're saying, I'm a healthcare provider. And I'm going to walk you through a scenario as a healthcare provider. Each step of the process is going to answer each one of these questions for you. And so by the end of my demo, and the demo doesn't have to be more than 10 minutes, you'll have a pretty good idea of how we can help you here. So we created, for our first vertical, which was travel, because we have some success in the travel industry, we created our own website. So this is a fake website, Grand Travel. We created a bunch of assets in the social world. So Instagram page. It's actually interesting because I actually have actual customers posting there. Hey, do you have any travel packages? So I have to explain that this is a demo environment. Sorry, can't. But it's realistic enough that when customers look at this, or we take this to travel companies, they go, oh, this is pretty cool. So I can have a social presence. I can be on WhatsApp. I can be on Facebook Messenger, and even a mobile app to go with it. And so we've totally customized the experience of travel, right? And made it relevant to the travel. What is travel worried about? Things like booking trips, things like going on vacations, things like what happens when my flight's been canceled or delayed, right? How do I get a hold of you? Can I message you? Can I call you? So putting that all together within the context of travel. So really it's about how do my people, my company, how do my processes, and how do my technology do all the heavy lifting for your company? Let me show you how that is in a demo, and that's really what we're talking about here. Third, lack of consistency. Demos are inconsistent messaging and delivery. Probably one of the most maddening things I discovered when I first joined RingCentral was trying to bring all that together. We're really all over the place. So it was like, welcome to Demo Island. I know it's pretty tacky, right? Because customers do get confused. They do read our literature. They do go to our website. They do watch our videos. And then we come into a demo that's completely different. None of this was in the literature you provided. What are you showing me here? You said you had this, but now you're showing me that. And so it has to be consistent with your marketing campaigns, your marketing literature, whether it's a go-to-market campaign, whether it's an awareness campaign, whatever you're doing. These demos have to be consistent. They have to have the same messaging, and everything has to be consistent across the board. So demos are really fed from your marketing programs, right? Which is a completely different approach that when I started, demos were sitting all on their own and we just did them, right? Now when we do demos, we look at what marketing program are we working on? What are the things we want to accomplish as a marketing, as a marketing team? That's not just product marketing, but globally, marketing-wise, right? Branding, et cetera. And then how do I make and create demos that filter all that content, the messaging, the content, and the narrative we're trying to share with our customers and our prospects? And that's why it's been, slow stick guy. That's why we've been moving from, demos have slowly been moving from sales engineering to technical marketing to product marketing. Now, technical marketing, product marketing, I don't know how you guys are laid out. Basically, I do the same role. Mine is a technical / product marketing role. But you don't have to be technical to run demos. You don't have to be technical to build and develop and design demos. You have to understand problems. That's all you need to do. The technology stuff, someone else can handle that. Right? And so it starts with your marketing objectives, right? What are we doing? Market awareness, demand strategy, products and partners, case studies, campaigns, analysts, where we want to go with analysts, and what we want to portray to analysts, all our marketing literature that's online, our nurture and drip campaigns, mass advertising campaigns, that's the one up there, our sales enablement, a playbook, a complete playbook, and how we're going to talk about collaborative contact center. And then bring demos into that. So demos become a key part of that. And then all the analytics around this. So it's great that you're doing demos and scripted demos and they're out there, but if you don't have a way to track it and understand how's this working, right? Are people registering with us and getting those demos? What is the result of those demos? From a demo perspective, really the result is, let's get to the next meeting. Let's get to that deeper level discussion. Let's start talking about pricing, right? And so getting metrics and analytics, like we do with everything else in a marketing campaign, is extremely important. And so that has to be part of your demo strategy. Unscripted and unrepeatable. So we've heard on the last day, and we're probably going to hear it a lot today, tell a story. Tell a story, right? I can't say it enough. Everyone can't say this enough. Tell a story. You want to tell a story. You want to be, you want to lead them through a narrative, right? Person A, right? And then you want that story to be consistent for prospects, customers, analysts, and the press. What I tell customers should be the same thing I tell analysts, should be the same thing I tell the press. Because when analysts report on it, or the press reports on it, I'm a customer who's seen the demo and go, oh yeah, I saw this. Not, wait a minute, that's not what I saw. I saw something different. So scripting. So just an example of a script. Creating personas. These are actual personas we use in the contact center for this grand travel demo environment that we've set up, right? Different stakeholders in a business. These are all contact center agents, supervisors, business analysts, and the IT department, right? All these people are involved in implementing a contact center solution. All of them have a stake or will have a decision ultimately on whether or not your solution will be the solution they adopt. Being very specific about your personas, who they are. These are not real people. Well, I mean, she is, but she's not really Roshana. But who are they? What's their daily job? What problems do they have? Right? Be very clear about the issues that they're facing. And they should line up with the industry that you're targeting here as part of the demo. So now you set the stage for them to say, okay, this is the problem we're having. This is exactly the problem we're having. In a lot of cases, certainly in our case, we have a lot of integrations that we support and a lot of licensing that we have to deal with, and it can get really expensive. Sales engineers ideally everyone would have their own account. You can't really do that, right? It's cost prohibitive. And so what you need to do is you need to manage those resources. And so creating a booking system, which we've done here, allows them to reserve personas, those personas we just saw, and allows them to use them for a given period of time and then check them back in. What that also allows us to do is to track who's using it and how are they using it. So those metrics, again. And you get a confirmation with all the persona details, so it makes it really easy for you to log in and manage your demo. And then going through a narrative, a story. My customer starts an interaction with me. I'm an agent. Here's how I respond. Agent interface, very simple to use. Here are the tools they have at their disposal. Hey, you can get some surveys that your analyst is going to be interested in looking at. And your supervisor has complete visibility and can actually really easily coach the agent while they're doing their work. Showing through the narrative how I'm solving each and every one of these problems for each of these personas. Terminology. This is a pet peeve, I'm sorry. Yeah. This is a tool. That's also a tool. That's an application. We hear a lot of our SEs at the beginning. Bless them, love the SEs. They do a great job. But they'll say, we have this beautiful tool that you can use. It's an application. It's a solution, right? Tools are things you can use to build stuff, but also there could be software tools as well. But in this case, it's an application. So making that consistent across the board. So at the conclusion of that narrative, you want to reiterate the business problem. You want to show how you solved the problems for each of the personas. And a call to action. Next steps. That's really where you want to get to. Next steps. Let's have another demo. We'll show you more details. Let's talk about pricing. Let's talk about how this fits into your business. Last but not least, there you go. Demo enablement. So a lot of people think, well, once you have to set up the demo, well, we're done. We just let it go. No. Demos and the management and implementation of demos is an ongoing process. Things change. Things break. Trust me, break all the time, right? Engineers, development comes up with a new system or a new application, goes live. Wait, why isn't this working anymore, right? So you have to be on top of things continuously as you do updates. Also, new capabilities, new things that we want to highlight. Potentially maybe a new campaign, marketing campaign, different things you want to highlight. So being able to actively manage those demos. Okay? Creating an environment where your demo stakeholders, as your sales engineers, increasingly now our salespeople are doing this too, giving access to analysts, giving access to partners to go in and be able to book a demo, manage a demo, get all the scripts that they need, and get the updated messaging as things change. Putting resources available to them. So how do I book a demo? How does this work? Providing video tutorials and documentation. And giving them an opportunity to provide you with feedback, really key. This is what worked, this is what did not work, so that we can continuously improve the demo process. Increasingly, so we've been doing live demos pretty well now. So our SEs have been doing this for a while. Our field SEs who are less versed in this product specifically, they're just general SEs, and our salespeople now have come to us and said, hey, I really like this demo stuff you guys are working on. Can I do it? Yeah, do you know how to log into here? And do you know? He said, no, I don't want to do that. Okay. So we created a step-by-step demo for them. Basically took what you would script or run through in a live environment, and now do a step-by-step with all of the scripts available to them. This is just a Google Doc. This is the easiest way we thought of implementing it. It's the easiest way they could understand it or use it or consume it. We're not going to fight that. We're just going to go with that, right? And so now they can go anytime to any customer and run through the script. Okay, sales can do it. We even did this with the analysts. Okay, so you don't really have to, it doesn't have to be a live demo, this is what I'm getting at. And it broadens your audience and broadens your the stakeholders, the people that can use it. Now we're also introducing, this is my colleague Brianna, she's really cool. We're introducing a click-through demo. And this is on our website, it's gated, so you have to sign up. But you can basically click through the product, and we explain at every stage what the product does, what the value is, and you can even explore it. So you can stop at any time and explore it. And we track all this, right? This is a demo, but it's a self-serve demo. I go in, I sign up, and I can walk through the product, and at different stages of I can see what my customer's doing here, right? I know what they're up to. So then when we do the follow-up, we say, hey, it looks like you're interested in this, this, and this. Let's talk more about that. And then on-demand webinars, which we also track in terms of usage, what they're watching, how long they've been watching for, and so on. Yet another way to demo the product. So to summarize, and I'm dog fooding here, I'm doing exactly what I said. I'm summarizing. You should focus on solving business problems, cater to different personas and industries, tell a narrative, not focus on the technology. It should be a marketing program asset, should allow for many different delivery models, as just showing you there, and should be supported through a demo enablement program. And that's it. I hope this was helpful.
Thank you, Alan.
Any questions or no?
Maybe one question we'll take.
Yeah. Which one? Right there, up front.
So great presentation.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Demos are definitely challenging for us because we have a long sales cycle.
Right.
So we've noticed that sometimes we end up using the demos at the earlier sales stages in the first call, and then eventually, as we progress through the sales cycle, we bring in more stakeholders from the client side, and then if we run the same demo again, they start poking more holes at the demo and ask more complicated questions. So how do you see building a demo that survives through the entire sales cycle? So even if we do it like few months down the line, it's still relevant, it's still exciting, and it
Yep.
still provides more value? Or do you recommend creating like a lighter version and a more complex version of the demo?
I would go for a lighter version and then maybe a more complex version. It depends on who your audience is going to be, right? So I've seen two scenarios that you're talking about. One is I've got like 3 or 4 different business stakeholders. Oh, my colleagues are on vacation, they couldn't make it. We're going to have another meeting where they're going to show up, right? In which case, providing the same demo may work. But they may say, well, I want to bring in my technical team and I want to bring in my the people who can actually vet it from a technology perspective. Then you probably want to go to, well, let's get to a more detailed demo. You can always use the same storyline, but now I'm going to show you a little more about the technology, right? And for people like IT that are coming in, really what's for them, it's still a problem, right? Their problem is, look, I don't have a lot of time, and I'm not going to waste, $500,000 and 6 months implementing your solution. So how do you make it easy for me, right? So that would be that next level of discussion. Okay.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.